Good morning. Welcome into our channel. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot. I'm Sarah and I'll be your intuitive guide and your reader for today. If you're new to the channel, feel free to have a look around and take a peek at the videos, especially the ones from the past 2 weeks. They've been talking about the shift from the chaser to the runner to the chaser. And if you want even more detail, I have written posts over on my Patreon channel. I posted about the Saturn retrograde. That's for all access patrons and above. And then I also posted for my VIP patrons all about this runner-chaser dynamic in the switch, why this is causing severe ascension symptoms, why this is causing the feminine to feel the way he or she is feeling, and what this might mean not only for the dynamic and the counterparts, but just in general. What's happening here. And so yeah, the intensity has been ramped up. The switch occurred about 2.5 weeks ago. We're still moving through it. It's kind of like if a planet goes retrograde, it takes us a while to adjust, and then the planet goes direct eventually, and it takes us a while to adjust back to that. I'm even noticing it with my cats. I have 3 cats, and one of them is special needs, so it's hard kind of to tell what is going on with him at times. He's got a mild form of cerebellar hyperplasia, but we do believe, we're almost certain, I've had 2 vets confirm it, that he does have some mild brain damage as well. So for whatever reason, he bullies one of my cats, Charlie. You guys have seen him on the channel. He's my gray and brown striped kitty. And Charlie does not, fight back. Charlie runs. I thought the solution was bringing Charlie into the new house first and then bringing Ollie and Frankie over later. And that worked for a while. And I went away a week and a half ago. And when I got back, the report was that Ollie had been stalking Charlie again. Well, last night it turned into aggression and violence, and he actually tried to attack him. And now I'm going out of town again next week. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, what do I do? So how do I keep them separate? I work from home, so that's a little easier. But then at nighttime, it's way too hot here. So you can't really put one on the porch, especially Oliver. But anyway, I digress. But my point being that as Holly has mentioned to our coaching group, you're seeing this in the animal kingdom as well. So we're seeing this play out, this aggression and anger. And Ollie will display both like the feminine and the masculine energy, whereas Charlie tends to be more feminine. Frankie tends to be more masculine. So it's very interesting to kind of witness this in my own animals. And you might be noticing that as well, or you might take notice of it now that I mentioned it. So I wanted to come on and do a video. As you guys know, I'm coming on doing videos when I feel inspired. It's been very challenging physically and emotionally for me. So many of you are like, yeah, I can handle the physical fatigue and exhaustion, or I can handle the emotional, but I don't know how to handle them together. And that's what we're conquering. So again, for more information, check out the Patreon post. Also, if you'd like to work with me individually, I'm offering Saturn retrograde readings, which will look into the house that this is falling into you and how this will affect you over the next 4.5 months or so. And then also my famous North Node readings, which we look into your North Node and South Node. It's astrology mixed in with a private reading. There are both private calls with me. They're live calls. The Saturn retrograde is 60 minutes. The North Node is 75 whole minutes with me. You can ask as many questions as we can squeeze into those 75 minutes. And it is my goal to get the feminine really on track, on her path, on her mission, really understanding who she is, why she's here, and really purpose. It's leading a purpose-driven life. So that's my purpose at this time. I don't offer twin flame readings because it doesn't really assist us in knowing what our twin is doing. And it actually really drains me to do those at this time. So I have to go with what makes me feel the best energetically right now. And love doing the North Node readings, love doing the Saturn retrograde readings. I also have a Jupiter and Aries reading, so we'll look into how that's affecting you. These are outer planets, so they have a major effect, and it's a longer retrograde when they do go retrograde. So that's a really positive one. Saturn's more of a heavy hitter, but it's good to know how to deal with the Saturn retrograde because our life can really change in profound ways if we know how to use it to our advantage. So those are my 3 readings at this time. In addition, We also are going to be launching workbooks, so those will be sold on the website. The first one will be the Twin Flame workbook. Then we'll also have a Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine workbook. Twin Flame workbook will have definitions, a glossary. It will talk about the journey. We'll give you journal exercises, written exercises to make you think, to help you understand deeper what this is. There's nothing like this out there. There's a lot of workbooks out there. There's a lot of books about the twin flame journey. There's a lot of speculation, but these workbooks are going to be different. These workbooks are talking about the truth of the journey. This is not this kind of romanticized journey that you see on Google or maybe with other workbooks. This is the nitty-gritty of the journey, how to survive it, how to understand the dynamics with your counterpart, how to not go crazy, how to maintain your sanity, and really how to create that abundance and how to step into inner union and joy. So we're really excited to be launching those. They will be over the next month or so, and we'll let you guys know. And again, available for purchase on the website. So let's go right into the reading now. I do want to, let's see, it's Friday, June 24th. We're heading into, next weekend, July 4th weekend. So you might be feeling those energies already. Just feels like there's something about freedom for a lot of people, not just in the Twin Flame Collective. As you guys know, I read for star seeds and light workers, and all divine counterparts, anyone on this ascension journey. There's a freedom that is really reigning right now, but that more and more people, as I've been saying on my readings recently, are breaking free from the matrix. So this is happening, and we're feeling it. We're seeing it in our own social circles, in our own families. It's going to be happening quicker and quicker and more and more. Just had to get a drink of water. Okay. Ocean of emotion decided to pop out there. So let's take a look. Divine discernment. Yeah, step back to find clarity. This is important. We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's talk about this one. Ocean of emotion. Find a safe place to express your true feelings. So there's a lot of emotions bubbling up to the surface right now. We've talked about this, guys, and I talked about it again on the Patreon posts. We talk about how to handle the emotions that are coming up in the runner stage, because now the feminine is moving through healing abandonment. Before we were working through healing codependency. Now it's abandonment. So what does that look like? Well, it's different for the feminine than it is the masculine. The masculine's journey looks different. Their chaser stage is not going to mean that they're chasing you in the physical. It's not what it's going to look like. Just like we're running energetically right now, they're chasing energetically. Okay, but it also looks different in other ways. And again, we're going to discuss these in the workbook. So if you want to understand the journey better and you feel like you don't have a grasp on it, you're new to the journey, or you've been on it for a while and you're like, I still don't fully understand it, or I don't fully accept it, these are really going to give you clarity. They're going to help you find that discernment. So find that place where it's safe to express your emotions. Whether you join our next coaching group, whether you decide to do some coaching sessions, with myself, whether you decide to have a healing with Holly, or you can even work with both of us simultaneously. We offer those sessions as well. That's really powerful. You've got coaching and healing all in one session. And find a friend, find a confidant, find somebody that you can trust, because the emotions are overwhelming. Some of you may seek out a therapist. Some of you may seek out a healer. Some of you may seek out just your own inner guidance. And that's what I'm seeing come up in a lot of my readings for my clients. Actually, every single reading I've done over the past 2.5 weeks, there's at least 1 or 2 cards that indicates that there's a need for silence. There's a need to trust yourself. There's a need to tune out the outside world. And there's a need to go within. And it means slowing down. It means exploring that inner realm of your emotions and that inner mystery. This really, to me, speaks of the feminine energy and the cycles that we move through. So you might have found this month, for instance, that your menstrual cycle gave you a ton of anxiety. It might have felt like an extended PMS period. It might have felt like you just couldn't get a grasp on your emotions. This abandonment is really real. And when it floats up to the surface to be examined, to be, you know, healed and dealt with, it feels, we become quite moody. We might become really introverted. We might not want to leave our house. We might just want to, but at the same time, we want to do everything. We want to, like, let's go cliff diving. Let's go to, you know, Bora Bora. Let's go do this and do that, because we don't want to feel the feelings that we're feeling. It's very uncomfortable, the runner stage. But then it's also mixed in with boredom and apathy. So it's really kind of this bipolar energy of, like, we don't know what we're feeling. We feel like we're swinging from one extreme to the next. We don't know really how to get a grip on our emotions or what we're feeling or why we're feeling it. And this is a transition period, so it should get easier after this. Remembering that the ocean, right? This is a water energy here, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. The ocean cannot be contained. The ocean is a force. She's a force. You know, just think of the god Poseidon. You know, he could, you know, he can take lives. He can, you know, he can give life. He can take life. He can create chaos and thunderstorms and huge waves out there in the ocean and make it, you know, he can really unleash his wrath. But he can also create the serenity and the peace that we've witnessed in the ocean as well, where you go out there and you can just float. And you can just be at one with the ocean and the sea and the animals in the ocean as well. So the ocean is connected to the tides. Our cycles as women is connected to the tides as well. So we know that we have this beautiful energy where we can connect to the moon, we can connect to the tides, to the oceans. But it's also making us, again, it's heightening our emotions. So be mindful of your cycles during this time, because you might have found, for instance, that your physical symptoms have diminished, which is, oh, you're like, yes, oh my God, yes. But then also at the same time, your emotional symptoms are heightened. So there might be some sort of a reversal here for some of you. But remembering that, you know, your emotions are a treasure to carry and to really honor. So I do feel like for the masculines, I'm just going to speak on this quickly. The masculines and the chaser stage are missing the feminine. They're remembering the feminine. They're having that memory pop up of who she is and who she was to them. But it pisses them off at the same time. You're like, what? Why would that piss them off? Because it makes them feel out of control. It makes them feel like they can't, it makes them feel like they don't have a grip on their life. You know, the masculine energy naturally wants to control, naturally wants to be in charge, naturally wants to have everything, like, you know, think about the power trips that your masculine might have displayed in your connection, you know, prior to any separation. And then they tried to even control the separation by, you know, not responding when you reached out or any number of things, blocking you, ghosting you. You might have done the same thing in masculine energy. Feminine energy wouldn't do that. Feminine energy receives. So in what way, you know, is the mask, how are they dealing with this? How are they coping with the chaser stage? Not so well. Neither counterpart's doing so hot right now. It's a challenging time. So the masculine misses the feminine. The masculine energy, you know, might still be toying with a karmic or, you know, in a job that they don't like. They're still trying to kind of like, let me just, you know, make this happen. But again, what used to work for them isn't really working for them anymore either. But more and more deeper thoughts about the feminine, stronger thoughts about the feminine will start bubbling up to the surface, and it becomes very uncomfortable. As you know, as the chaser, it becomes really uncomfortable, and you feel obsessed. So there's this obsessive energy. So yeah, this is also pertaining to the masculines trying to control their emotions, but there's no controlling the emotions when you're a chaser. So, and they don't have necessarily the help that the feminine did, working with healers or therapists or things like that. And if they do have a therapist, they're probably like, what? I don't know. This is an unhealthy connection. You should, you know, break ties. And for a lot of masculines, that's what they were told. This is unhealthy. This isn't realistic. You should just walk away from this. This is never gonna, happen. It doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. So the masculine is kind of dealing with this, a lot of them on their own, trying to understand this, which is, it's like they say, it takes a village to raise a kid. It takes a collective, it takes a group of us to support each other and come together and understand the journey. So it's going to be hard for them to try to understand this on their own. Yeah, there's a calling right now to inaction, as I was talking about. Divine discernment, step back. That's inaction. It's not taking action. When you have Saturn retrograde, it's not so much about taking action now. It's about preparing to take action when he goes direct over the next 3.5 months in October, and preparing for the gifts that he will impart. Once he leaves, whatever house he is in for you, once he leaves that aspect of your chart, and, once you learn the lessons that need to be learned, and then it will be time, then there'll probably be another Mercury retrograde or something, or an eclipse, there will be something else, but we just want to practice discernment at this time, step back. And you notice how neither of these are really forms. They're sort of formless. Just notice that these are very formless images here. So we don't have the picture. We can't see the big picture yet. We don't really know what's being formed behind the scenes. We're not meant to. So if you're trying to if you try to understand why your twin's doing what they're doing, you're not gonna find the answers. It's not gonna make sense logically. You're better off just sticking to what you can control and sticking to what's right in front of you. Again, stepping back from things in your life that are giving you headaches, that are confusing, that aren't in alignment, that are, maybe they were in alignment a month ago, but now you're in the runner stage and suddenly it doesn't feel like they're in alignment anymore. This is about honoring that feminine energy, honoring the feminine energy, and honoring the ability to receive versus feeling the need to give or feeling the need to constantly do. We are in a period of surrender, folks. We are. And we're reflecting on our purpose. We're, for a lot of you, you might be reflecting on past relationships, reflecting on your role in those relationships, reflecting on your life in general, reflecting on your childhood, reflecting on the things that maybe still need healing, reflecting on what it is that you really want to do with the rest of your life. This is a big picture thinking. It requires time and energy. It requires our concentration and focus and stillness. Yeah, it's sort of like we're dropping into the space in between doing and not doing is what it looks like and what it feels like. And for a lot of you, this can feel scary because you're like, well, I'm not doing anything, but I'm not bringing in money, or I'm not creating. We are creating, just in a different way. And it's the masculine energy that fears, worries about money. It's not the feminine. The feminine knows that she has everything that she needs to create the life that she desires, to bring in the resources that she needs to survive and thrive. So let's take a look here at, I'm going to check the timing, but let's take a look at the Angels and Ancestors deck. Too many cards. We do have this one that I will take, Oracle. Yeah, see, these are all messages of waiting, guys. I told you it's coming up in individual readings. It's coming up for the collective. Wait for important information. So reminds me of the Oracle of Delphi in Greece. There are other oracles around the world, but that's the one that I had the pleasure of being able to visit. That's the one that I felt most connected to, probably because I was able to physically see it and experience it. But it's such a powerful place to I mean, you feel so small up there. You feel so small up there in the mountains of Greece, and you feel like anything is possible. You feel like your dreams can actually come true. You feel it's quiet. It is. You're able to practice discernment. You're able to step back. You're able to go within and find peace and stillness. And you pray to the oracle. You ask for clarity. For whatever it is that you're needing clarity on, whatever it is, whatever path it is that you're wanting to. Yeah, wanting clarity on it and wanting to understand on a deeper level. The Oracle is there to provide answers, but the Oracle is ultimately going to point you to your own heart, and ask that you trust the messages that you're receiving. Which, of course, when you're looking for messages is never what you want to hear. So the Oracle speaks truth. The Oracle will deliver truth. And I think that's something that, again, we're not all comfortable with. Oh, I don't know, the naked truth. I don't know. Like, does it have to be so naked? Can you cover it up with some marshmallows and sprinkles? But the Oracle's not afraid to tell you the truth, even if it's not what you want to hear. Okay. So, this is coming through. And I think this speaks very loudly to the runner stage. It speaks very loudly to what the feminine's going through, because she's ready for the truth, but then she's sort of running from the truth at the same time, energetically. You guys aren't really running physically from your counterparts. It's not like if they came in and knocked on your door, you'd physically run away. But some of you might right now, honestly, because it would be that uncomfortable to see them physically. You guys might think you want to see them, but if you saw them right now, you would repel each other like magnets, and it would be just so uncomfortable to be in the same room as them with the energy that you're both in. But for some of you, it would be, you might invite them in, but then you might just be distant energetically, and you couldn't pinpoint it, they can't pinpoint it, but it's just a feeling. So it's more like a feeling right now, is keeping space. Many of you might not even be connecting to them, might not want to connect to them in the 5D. You might have even turned that off, that connection off, which the masculines have done as well from time to time when they needed space. It just feels like the feminine needs her space right now from sort of everyone and everything. But the Oracle is going to tell you what you need to move forward. So she's not going to sugarcoat. She's a lot like me. She's not going to sugarcoat. She is going to, like, this is the truth. I'm going to speak honestly. I'm not going to mince my words, and I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear so that you can move forward. And so for a lot of feminines, for a lot of you tuning into my channel, you might think, this is not like what I wanted. I didn't want to hear this. I wanted to hear about reunion. I wanted to hear about the romantic side of things. I wanted to hear that everything's going to be okay. I wanted to hear that my twin's coming back. And I want to know when, and I want to know how. But that's not who I am. That's not what I'm here to do. It wouldn't be honest. It wouldn't be just to myself or to you. And I would be feeding you what you wanted to hear, not what you needed to hear. And it would be for likes and to grow my channel. And those are all fine and dandy, and plenty of people are doing that. But it's not the truth. The truth is not that your twin's likely going to come back tomorrow. Not at the state that we're in, not with what's going on right now. It wouldn't be amicable. It wouldn't be balanced. Okay, the healing hasn't happened. So if you need to hear what you want to hear, go somewhere else, honestly, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to tell you what needs to be heard. What is going to help you ultimately what will help you, not in the short run, but in the long run. Understanding the journey, what it's truly about. It is not about the counterpart. It is not about what they're doing, what they're not doing, who they're with, the karmics. Any of those readings that focus on the karmics, guys, is drawing you down to lower vibrations and negative energy, and it will keep you stuck in that cycle. If you're obsessed, that's the chaser stage. If you're obsessed about the karmic, obsessed about the masculine, think about how that's serving you. Think about how that's affecting your life. Is it healthy? Does it make you happy? Do you feel balanced? Do you feel peace? Do you feel like out of control? Think about those things. Think about how it's making you feel. And when you find out, when the readings tell you about the karmic or the masculine, it doesn't help. It doesn't help because this connection ultimately is a spiritual connection. It's not a 3D connection. It's a spiritual connection. It's based in the higher realms. It's based in the realms of the unseen. The seen, the 3D, that's playing out right in front of our eyes, is created by what we believe. It's created up there. So your counterpart can appear in front of you as the person you need them to be or want them to be, Only when you've created balance in those higher realms, only when you've come to terms with the traumas that you've endured, only when you don't need them. If you're in the state of needing the counterpart or thinking this is going to be like a happily ever after story, it's not. But I'm not saying that you can't be with your counterpart. That's not what I'm saying. I've never said that. You can choose that. Some people will, some people won't. Some people will live happily ever after with a soulmate. It really depends on your soul's journey. It really depends on the contract. It really depends on what it is that you want to experience while you're here in the physical realm. So we go to the Oracle of Delphi. She's a psychic priestess in ancient Greece, right? If any of you have studied mythology, she could receive information from the people that came to her and make predictions. Well, we're being asked now not to worry about the predictions, waiting for that information to appear. So we have to look beyond what it is that we can see right now, beyond what we can see, and trusting that what will appear will be for our highest and greatest good. So your angels, your ancestors, the universe, your higher self, your twin are all speaking to you all the time. They're always around. So listen, pay attention. We have to drop within to be able to listen. We have to go quiet to be able to listen. But we're being guided to wait for more information before making those moves. So just wait and see. It's kind of a wait and see energy. It's not a do energy. So let's get a card for the masculine, and then I'm going to close out this reading. Sage, be devoted and committed. Yeah, be devoted and committed to the path, divine masculine. Becoming the sage. Honoring the path. Honoring the ancient wisdom that you've always had access to, but denied yourself for whatever reason. Because it wasn't normal, or it wasn't accepted, or it would have made you look crazy, or, any number of things. However you regarded your feminine masculine is however you judge the feminine for being different, or for certain things that she might have shared with you or said to you, or for what she did for a living, or especially if you're feminine like me, is a reader, psychic, or in any way, an astrologist, any of those things that you're like, oh, that's not a real job. If you judged her, you are now being judged for what it is that you judged her for. You are now learning through the law of karma what it feels like to be judged for being different, for being spiritual, for having different beliefs, for speaking those beliefs, for speaking your truth, and sort of breaking free from the mold. There's a lot of energy, guys, right now, breaking free from the matrix, breaking free from the mold, freedom. Be committed and devoted to your path, to your inner realm. Guys, this whole reading, if I could sum it up, is go within for both the feminine and masculine. Go within, that's where the answers are found. That's where the jewels are. That's where the truth is. And it's not looking out there, looking outside, because it looks like a shit show. It's chaotic. It's scary. It's fear-inducing. There's anger. There's violence. We have to look within at this time to find our peace. It's not ignoring what's happening out there, but understanding how we play a role in what happens out there. Understanding that the more peace and harmony and balance we can achieve within each of us individually, the more that will be reflected externally. And honestly, the more we can come together to heal this world, to heal this place that we've all decided to incarnate into, this planet of duality, seeing beyond the duality. So the sage taps into ancient wisdom, and the sage isn't afraid to travel down the path many, many times until he understands the path. And then, of course, every time the path represents something new, or the path shows him something new. Masculine, you're becoming a great teacher for yourself and for others. You're starting to question things that you wouldn't have questioned before, and you're realizing the impact, the profound impact this connection has had, this your feminine has had on you, to think differently, to think outside the box, to be yourself, to stretch beyond the limits that you thought you had. You're becoming more aware of who you are, how you think, how you work, and you have more awareness. So then you're making decisions now with more discernment, with more clarity, versus just sort of the need to please others. That people pleasing is being healed. Remember, you're healing codependency. The masculine's healing codependency right now. The feminine's healing abandonment. So ultimately, guys, it's a really powerful time. Many divine counterparts are in separation right now for very specific reasons, for very good reasons. Do not try to force contact right now. We've had a few clients do that. It will probably not be the best outcome. Okay, things are not balanced. We are still in the middle of the shift. Emotionally, physically, it's taking a toll on the feminine. It's taking a toll emotionally on the masculine, maybe not as much physically, because the runner stage is more physical, but it's taking a toll emotionally on the masculine, mentally on the masculine. And again, they may be angry. They may spew that anger back out at you because you're the reason I feel this intense. You're the reason I just want to forget you. I just want to move on. This is ridiculous. And again, there could still be that blame, that anger, because they need to blame someone. And if you're there, that old cycle could start all over again. It's not what you want. You don't want to push back the timeline. Let them heal. Give them the space to do so. Grant yourself the space to do so. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust this crazy fucking journey. Trust the journey that you're on, guys. And if you need guidance, if you look at my website right now, you'll see that everything says sold out. There's a reason for that. I'm having payment processor issues. It's a huge pain in the ass. Looking for a new payment processor. But if you'd like to book readings, if you'd like to book coaching session, healing session, please reach out to me at the email that's listed below in the description box. We can set you up. I am all booked until, because I'm going out of town next week, so I'm all booked up until the week of July 5th, and then I have some openings that week, I believe, and then beyond. So you guys take care. Take care right now. Talk to somebody, okay? Don't keep this inside. Find ways to honor the emotions that you're feeling. It's a tough time, okay? So be good to yourselves. I will see you in the next reading. And be on the lookout for those workbooks. You're going to be able to buy them as a bundle, the 3, or individually. And also be on the lookout for an announcement for our next coaching group. We will be launching that, looks like mid-July. And it will be a fall group. We will start in the fall. So you've got some time to decide, some time to learn, some time to ask questions. We're going to hope to do a Q&A on that soon so you can meet Holly and understand. We've been trying to do this for a long time, but the energies have not allowed it. But we'd like you to meet her and to understand this journey, to be able to ask us questions. So it would be a live Q&A. All right, guys, take good care, and I'll see you soon.